How we doing? Well, how about that? It came on smoothly here on a Wednesday for once. Thank you very much for joining us here for the Watching the Rivalry Sports podcast. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content. So we appreciate you. It's Wednesday. So we're here in the middle. I think the last week here, the best month in sports, I think, is October. We've had a fantastic, fantastic, fantastic ALCS, fantastic World Series. I think this World Series has been fantastic. We got Terps coming up, Terps basketball coming up this week. We're going to dip into that a little bit. Big Terps football game this week. Of course, the Ravens, Orioles getting a new skipper. So a lot going on. So I want to thank all of you for taking your time, as a lot of you have every Wednesday, to watch the Rivalry Sports Podcast on Rivalry Sports Podcast channel and Driving to the Top Productions. RivalrySports.company.site, the flagship. If you are looking for Ravens and Orioles jerseys, absolutely go on that website. You could go ahead and get them there. Along with, you'll also see our links from Fanatics on all of our social media platforms. You will see them there as well. So definitely check that out there as well. Also to see Charles Harris, we are Legal Shield. Legal Shield, the best way to reach me is to go on our Facebook page, Harris Legal Shield. Go ahead and punch that in Facebook. You can reach me there. Definitely, you could go on a LinkedIn page and all that. If you are interested in going ahead and getting legal services with Legal Shield, it's a great resource for you. Great way to save money right now. Certainly, we're saving money right now. Also to Genesis Notary Services /Facebook.com, or you can Google Genesis Notary Services in Winchester, Virginia. More than happy to come out. Got notary appointments. Thank you so much. The notary business is you guys are. Thank you, Shenandoah Valley, for giving us the opportunity to go ahead and do notary work for you as well. Lastly as well, thank you all of you who watched the Maryland Terps video that is on the channels right now. So it's on our YouTube channel. It's on our it's on the Twitter page. It's all of our social media. It's on the Kick channel as well. So definitely, if you haven't seen it, we got a game this week. So definitely check that out here as well. All right. But of course, let's get to the Ravens. So I said Sunday was a must win, and they had to have it. Little drama surrounding Lamar playing, but somebody told me in the comments, well, it was a win. You got that right. They had to have it. 30-10, Ravens over the Bears, the Frozen. So let's go ahead and check this out here. Caleb Williams, way too much concern, I think, media has and people on Caleb. Look, the defense is the problem in Chicago, guys. Caleb 25 for 38. That's even somewhat misleading. I think a lot of it was garbage time. He was good on the first drive, good in garbage time, kind of in the middle as well. He's got to find his footing, but you're giving up points every week. Like, you're just on Caleb all the time. That's not your problem, Bears fans. So that's the thing. Swift had a typical Swift day, 11 carries, 45 yards. They didn't run the ball enough, I don't think. I don't think they run the ball. I think they want to run. You could tell teams that run the ball, that run play action and want to pass, and then run play action and then want to run. This is clearly a team, Ben Johnson said, clearly a guy, it looks like here, he wants to run play action and want to pass. Because if he would have ran the ball, I think some of it would have been there. Ravens' run defense has tightened up a lot the last few weeks, so that's good. Rome Odunze, 7 carries, 7 receptions, 114. This is where Caleb is going with the football when he needs a catch. So it's not the DJ Moore. DJ Moore had a good catch in the game, but this is definitely where he's going to ball. Rome Odunze. Odunze really developing right before us. I was really impressed with him at the University of Washington. His hands are phenomenal. He catches the ball. Some guys can catch it with their hands. Really, I mean, it seems silly with a wide receiver, but like at any position, it doesn't matter where the ball is, whatever like this. He can catch it. Great hands on him as well. Bears defense, I didn't think was good at all in this game. They didn't really get a lot of pressure in this one. Ravens were quick throwing the ball a lot, but not a lot of sweat. Montez Sweat, 1 sack in this game. I thought the overall effort wasn't good. They were missing some guys. I mean, a lot of their secondary didn't play, so that's an issue, of course. Oh yes, the quarterback. For those of you guys that like Tyler Huntley, here you go. 17 for 22, 186, 1 TD. Late replacement for Lamar Jackson. Definitely, he's taking the number 2 job away from Cooper Rush here as well. I got to talk about Lamar though in terms of the posting of the injury. I do believe, I don't know, but I kind of think they did this intentionally with the on the field. I do think this is intentionally with the posting. So just to clarify it, Lamar Jackson was listed on the injury report on Friday as a full participant, but he didn't run a full practice because he's a starter and he ran the scout team. So you can't list him as a full participant if he ran scout team as well. He's got to make regular reps with the first team. You're going to report him as that. So they listed him as a full participant when he was practiced. So Saturday, the league came down on him. They did change it to limited and questionable, and he wound up not playing. He said Tyler Huntley would actually play. This came out on Saturday. Here's the thing, and somebody, for those who said this is a big deal, it is because the Bears didn't have any time to prepare for Tyler Huntley. They didn't know who the quarterback was until like late Saturday. Late Saturday isn't kickoff, but the practices and everything was over. Now you could say they're a young quarterback, young coach. That's on them. They should have, okay, but the Ravens weren't being honest with as far as that. Now they're saying it's an honest mistake, et cetera, et cetera. I'm having a hard time with that personally, simply because I know how meticulous they are with everything. I mean, they don't release the schedule early. They don't say anything. So the fact that they just kind of forgot that, I don't know about that. We don't know. I mean, he said it was an honest mistake. It could have been. I don't know. I mean, it is a possibility of that, and I don't have facts to back that up. That's just my opinion. Just watching the team and following the team. But I just think like that. Now, back to the game, Huntley was good in this game. I think they did. This is what Huntley looks like. Huntley, backup quarterbacks are good when you don't have a chance to prepare for them, right? They throw short, quick passes, got the ball out quick, ran the ball, played to its strengths. Good stuff by Huntley. I think this was exactly the scenario you want. 186, 1 TD, ran the ball well. Derrick Henry, not as many yards as he was getting last year, but this is a decent day. 21 for 71, 2 TDs, using him in the red zone. Did see a little bit of Keaton Mitchell in this game. I maybe believing that the coaching staff was saving his legs a bit. Not saying they should have, but maybe that's the thought. That could be possible that they could have been, okay, he's a small guy, maybe we'll just like use him more in the second half if possible as well. Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is fine. He hasn't fumbled in the last few weeks. 71 carries as well. Pretty impressive considering they haven't had Lamar Jackson in there, and he was going to be the focal point, stopping him as well. Zay Flowers, another 67, 7 carries, 67 receptions, 63 yards. Clearly, he's the number one receiver. It's no longer Mark Andrews. Isaiah Likely's been quiet. We haven't really had a whole lot of Isaiah Likely catches and things like that. Look for that on Thursday, maybe, him more involved. But Flowers has been solid all year long, obviously. That was the best Roquan Smith looked all season. That's what we need. More of that. 12 tackles, line of scrimmage, running the defense, actually making an impact, not just tackles way downfield when he's missed a tackle. That was good stuff. That was impactful Roquan. He can do better. We can see more from him, but that was clearly something was wrong after seeing the way he played early in the year. That was definitely the case as well. So 30-16, Ravens win this game. I thought the Lamar stuff was a little chicanery. Real quick, Bears. They got to fix the defense. You can complain about Caleb Williams all you want. You gave up 30 points to backup quarterback. You've been giving him 30 plus points every week to starters. That's the problem. Stop with the Caleb stuff. Stop worrying about your quarterback. I mean, he's still. You're somewhat right, and he needs to develop matter of fact, but it's not the problem. It's not the problem. You got to stop. Sometimes people forget defense needs to be good to actually win games. All right. So we got a game tomorrow, affectionately in South Florida, called The Rock. So the 2-6 Miami Dolphins against the Ravens. Still a must-win for the Ravens. So 2-5, glad to get the last game. They must win, I think, the next 3 to even be in the dance as far as playoffs and all that as well. Even with all the issues of the AFC North teams, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, etc., they gotta win these games they're supposed to win, and they need to win here as well. Looks like we're gonna have Lamar on Monday night, so on Thursday night rather. So definitely Lamar is going to play. Full practice this week. Now, this week is kind of weird. They say it's a full practice, but they really don't practice. They kind of just do walkthroughs because they played Sunday and they practiced Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So just kind of walk through maybe a little bit today. They did some more stuff, but it's a Thursday game, so they really don't practice much this week. So he seems to be good to go. He said he was good to go as much. So you are going to have Lamar in this one. Derrick Henry's having a decent season here. Not as strong as it was last year, but no real problem with what he's done. He's been really good. I think he's a bit underutilized at times. He did have some fumbles and cleaning up. I do believe he got in the coach's doghouse a bit, even a Derrick Henry, because he was fumbling. I do think that's his thing as well. Zay Flowers, 486 yards, almost at the 500-yard mark as well. On his way, it looks like, to another 1,000-yard season. Could go to another Pro Bowl. He's clearly the guy they look to. So definitely he's going to be as happy as anybody else with Lamar Jackson back under center here as well. Roquan Smith. That looked like more like Roquan, what we've been seeing as well. So we got to have that because you don't have Matabuke this year. You don't have, you just still have some injuries. You're starting to get healthy as well. Teddy Buchanan's been really good as well. So Teddy Buchanan's leading the team in tackles. But if you get Roquan back to being Roquan as well, that would be good. Also, Kyle Hamilton with Gilman there in the back, using him more at the line of scrimmage, more of a Swiss Army knife. Very effective stuff from Kyle Hamilton as well since he has been here. Tua Tagovailoa was fantastic last week in the win. That was a surprise. How good the Dolphins were as well. The Dolphins on offense, they have it. So this is kind of where I separate them from the Saints and the Jets. And when people put them in that category, Tua and Waddle and those guys, they can put some points together when they want to. When they actually get it together, they make a lot of mistakes. They make mistakes. He's got 10 interceptions. That's too many interceptions for 8 games, despite the 15 touchdowns. But he is, when they want to as well, they're going to have to blitz him and force the ball out of his hand as well because he likes to throw the ball quick as well. We will see how they do as well. Devon Achane is a good running back. I've always liked Achane as well. Good chain mover, good speed. He's a good mixture of speed and power. So I wouldn't call him a power back and a speed back, but he's not neither, but he's not either, for lack of a better term. He kind of can do both. He can kind of get you those power runs inside if you need them, and he can break away on the outside if you need that too. So he's been solid. 107 carries, 539. I think he's also too underutilized. I think you should, especially without Tyreek Hill here anymore. They definitely could use more of him. Jalen Waddle's clearly now your number one wide receiver. Tremendous speed as well. This is the guy, obviously. So he doesn't have two guys he can go to with the deep pass, but Jalen Waddle is been clearly the number one receiver, over 500 yards, 14s. Good stuff from him. Here's a guy who could be available at the deadline again, Bradley Chubb. So you talk about guys the Ravens might be interested in. Chubb, 4 sacks, big contract, so that could be a thing. How available would he be at the deadline? But it's true. Just before I came on, I talked about possibly before the November 4th deadline, bringing in a Kevin Zeitler. Makes a lot of sense, right? He was former Raven. Plug him right in. That would be enormously better than what we have right now. Calais Campbell's another guy I mentioned as well. That's obvious, right? That might cost a little more. Arizona's not completely out of it like Tennessee, but we'll see. Bradley Chubb might be a guy that the Dolphins might be willing to part with that fill that pass rush need. So trade deadline is coming up. We'll see what happens there. Chubb, this is basically feel good if Ronnie Stanley has a good game here. It's going to be emphasis on Ronnie Stanley to play well. We already talked about where's Isaiah Likely. He hasn't really done a lot this year. Had a lot of injuries as well. We're not seeing a lot of that short stuff there. Lamar is back in the lineup, so we will see. Hasn't really been on the injury report. Very fascinating. Isaiah Likely hasn't really played a lot, I don't think. Also to the case on defense. X factor, I think, is Travis Jones. I think you got to stop H-Chan. You got to stop the run game as well. So I think it's about time for a Travis Jones breakout. Gone. Like Matabuke is gone. It's about time for him to go ahead and break out. I do want to say, too, on defense, where is Jair Alexander? Not on the injury report, not playing. He was a healthy scratch last week. He was on the bench. So like this, we're in now week 9. So interesting there set of circumstances for a guy. So interesting to see if he gets more playing time, but he hasn't played much. So there you go. I think the Ravens do win this game. We will definitely be on after the game. Shameless plug. On after the game Thursday night. Amazon Prime is where it's at. Just like this. So we're gonna have the legendary Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit on the call on Amazon Prime as well. So do feel good about this. Dolphins have a lot of issues. I think defensively they're not very good. Offense, I think you got to be careful with their offense because it can spurt. It's got that spurt ability. At times they can really get some. They can kind of score in bunches with some of those deep passes to Waddle and all that, etc. H-N, that explosive speed, but we'll see. Ready for it. Ravens tomorrow in Miami. Definitely will be on right after that. All right. Big 5. There it is. 5 biggest games on the schedule that are not Raven games. So let's go ahead and chop that up here as well. Ravens. These are the games on the schedule that are the strongest games that are not from Baltimore Ravens games. Obviously, a lot of us here are Raven fans, so we're definitely going to go over that every week. But we go over the games, the biggest games, the games most important to the league, the schedule, etc. Going forward. Last week, easy stuff. Commanders over the Chefs. Chefs over the Commanders as well. Commanders got real problems. I mean, the defense just doesn't seem to be doing that well. I understand you're playing Kansas City, but there was very little fight in that defense. And without Jaden Daniels there, They have some problems on offense. Obviously, they've been missing guys. It looks like they're a little too banged up to go against the really good teams right now. Packers and the Steelers. So the Packers win. Um, Jordan Love's good. I mean, you can go ahead and call him whatever you want. Jordan Love's, I think, at times a little last year he was inconsistent, but the previous year he was really, really good. And I think this year, I think he's been outstanding. Um, the Squealers got problems. Like they don't do anything well. I saw it in the drivings of the Chop Chat the other day, and I will be back on the open mic here next week. But in the driving to the Chop Chat, I was like, I saw Josh just like he was talking, he was just frustrated with the Steelers, and I say like they don't do anything well. They don't do anything well. They kind of do some things okay as well. They're coached well, but they don't really have a really good strength. That's a problem. And Green Bay does. Green Bay can really throw the ball, and they have a really powerful, really good edge rush as well. So, yeah, Packers over the Squealers. Um, Packers over the Squealers in that game as well. Uh, Texans, I think, are on the way back. They won this game against San Fran. San Fran kind of the same, I think I said with Washington. Like, just they don't have enough guys. They don't have enough guys. They have great coaching. They have Kyle Shanahan there who kind of can make Mac Jones look decent, but you don't have enough guys. You don't have enough guys. You're running out of. You can't keep losing players every week and have this problem as well. No quarterback, no Bosa, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No contest. Panthers without Bryce Young. Hopefully they get Bryce Young this week. 40-9 Bills over the Panthers, and Vikings clearly have a quarterback problem. Wentz are not going to have him the rest of the year. Cousins lobbying now. All of a sudden, he's lobbying to go to another team. Of course, he wants to go to Minnesota to start because they don't have a quarterback. All right, so let's go ahead and get this squared away. Falcons and Patriots this week. I think Penix is going to go. I'm not sure if that's the case, but he's the Lamar thing's kind of got me. Well, last week with quarterbacks playing, but we do think he's going to go. I do think it is a good chance that Lamar gets to go. That Penix gets to go. Drake May and the Patriots are the real deal. I kind of like thought that they were going to break out this year, but they needed a couple things to happen. The defense I thought was going to be good. I think it's one of the better defenses in the league, and also too, Drake May is really growing right before us as a star. Doesn't even have a lot, I don't think, on offense. He's got some decent receivers, and he is really making it work. He's statistically, I think, top 5 in the league as well. So the answer, we've answered the question about the young quarterbacks. Drake May is definitely it, and we'll see how Penix does. I don't like their chances in New England against the Patriots. I like the Pats here. Colts and the Steelers. Oh boy, it's tough here. Root for a team. It's getting hard for me not to think the Colts are really good every week after week after week. I think they have been somewhat aided by the schedule. They really haven't had a lot of tough games. This is supposed to be a tough one. So I think if the Steelers have anything in them, they'll stand up. I do actually think they have more of a shot here as well. But I got to go with the Colts. I mean, the Colts have really looked good all season. Tal Warren is really good. Tal Warren, you could argue, he's a top 10 tight end already. Jonathan Taylor's been really good. Daniel Jones is getting the ball where he needs to get it. The offensive line is really good. Their defense I don't think is as great as people think it is. I think their defense is a little overstated. The Steelers haven't shown me anything. Steelers have not shown me where they can beat a good team yet. So I think like that. I do think Aaron's due for a really big game though at some point. That's the only thing that makes me nervous. But I'm gonna still take the Colts in this one. Have the Steelers have the over the Steelers. Broncos and the Texans in this one. Broncos, I think, are Broncos are bona fide as well. I think Bo Nix is fine. He made to me like Joe Flacco, like Matt Ryan, in that level of quarterback. I don't know if he'll ever be in the upper echelon, maybe like you're hoping, but I think he's good. He's good when it matters, and I've noticed that. When the game is on the line late in the games, his percentages and everything goes up. That defense is fantastic also in Denver as well. So is the one in the Texans. I think the Texans may have the best defense in the NFL. I do think they win the game. The Texans are different at home because Stroud is different at home. Stroud does very well in games in Houston as opposed to on the road. For whatever reason, he was wildly different. So that's why I like the Texans to score. Again, they've been on a roll here the last few weeks. So another team like the Ravens, they need to get it going despite the issues in their division. So I do like them there as well. Panthers and the Packers. So Panthers have a good record. They're probably a bit of a fraud in terms of that. They didn't have because they haven't really looked really impressive despite their record. So I think that's an actual thing as well. I don't think they go in the Lambeau and win. This will be more competitive. They will have Bryce Young back, it looks like, instead of Andy Dalton, which really killed them. Packers are on a roll right now. I like the Packers against anybody in the league. Packers offense is clicking on all cylinders. The defense is really, really good. I don't see a flaw at all in Green Bay as well. So I like the Packers a lot. Packers actually over the Panthers. And the game of the century, the year, the decade, as we have every year, seem like Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills going at it on Sunday. This is where we find out if the Chiefs still have it, if they actually go into Buffalo and win, if they are still the team to beat in the AFC. If they go win this game in Buffalo against the Bills and they go in and handle it, then we can start worrying about the rest of it. I'm still not totally convinced, but I will be convinced that they go into Buffalo and win. With that said, I'm taking Buffalo because Josh Allen really plays well against Kansas City. I think he's the one guy who always plays well against that good Kansas City defense. Kansas City defense, by the way, is coming around. A little bit of a slow start. I think that contributed to their problem, but they're actually been playing better. But I think Allen scored 40 points last week. I think he scores here. Bills over the Chiefs. There you go. Big five. 5 biggest games on the schedule. All right, so 5 biggest games on the schedule that are not Ravens games. Definitely enjoy all the games that are going on this weekend. And we got a big-time college game going on in College Park. So we got, yes, this is football. I'm going to say it one more time. Kirk Jaggetti's causing a lot of problems in college football. He's getting a lot of coaches fired. We had Brian Kelly fired. We've had James Franklin fired. We had Billy Napier fired. Some of these guys are getting fired because what he is doing at a basketball school and really, really taking apart a lot of these major programs as well. Vanderbilt as well. Like they're like 8-1 all of a sudden. So what's coming in? Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson are going to be calling this game on CBS. I'm guaranteed this is going to be a sellout. This guy might be the number 1 pick in the draft. We don't know. Francisco Mendoza, not Arch Manning, like we thought at the beginning of the year. 21 TDs, 2 interceptions. It's been sensational. Came from Cal. I think last year, even with the success they had, they didn't have a guy like this who's just shredding offenses as well. There's a name we know, Roman Hemby. 90 carries for 23 yards, 3 TDs. With Kalen Black also too. They run the ball very, very well. Their offensive line is fantastic. One of the reasons why they're having so much success on offense If the offensive line is good, the run game is good. I think both of these guys are good. You see Roman Hemby doing well here. Doesn't look the same, right? Like he did in Maryland the last couple of years. So, but this is a guy they're familiar with. The Terps are familiar with on defense. Elijah Scott, also too, might be playing his way into the early part of the draft here. 43 receptions, 603, 9 TDs, 9 TDs in 8 games. Right? So that's fantastic as well. Lewis Moore on defense. You look at that. 449 tackles, leading the team in tackles and interceptions. So how often do you see that? So he's getting you at the line of scrimmage and he's taking the ball away for a senior there as well. So the defense now is pretty solid defense, but they're scoring so many points. Malik Washington back in action, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. They gotta help the quarterback more. You gotta help your quarterback. You gotta start helping your quarterback. You can't have Malik just going out there and you're dropping passes and you're doing stuff. You gotta help your quarterback more. He's been good, I think, but I think you gotta help him. That UCLA game was just atrocious. That they couldn't help him because all they were doing was just doing this deep zone, putting 5 and 6 guys back. No, you can't run the football as well. Gotta start running the ball, Mike Loxley. Gotta start getting DeJuan Williams going. Gotta go ahead and get Nolan Ray going. You're not playing them. They're not effective enough in the run game. So definitely you gotta take some pressure off your quarterback. Shalik Knox, 26 carries, 40. This is your number one receiver. This is where the quarterback, I always define a number one receiver to, is where does the quarterback go when all else fails? When all else fails, he's looking for Shalik Knox. That's where he's going. 421 yards, 5 TDs as well. There's a lot of good defensive players you could talk about, but Jalen Husky, I think the Terps, the last time they played, they were the leading team in the entire college football in interceptions. 3 of them were Jalen Husky as well. Definitely David Wingate, Daniel Wingate, and a lot of these guys on defense, Trey Riddick or whatever. Defense, I think, has really been solid for them. They're going to have to be really good against, I think, the second-ranked team. You could easily call them number one. I think, not for Ohio State, this would be the number one team in all country. So definitely check it out. Hopefully we can shock the world because that's what it would take. I think this would save Mike Loxley's job too. I really do. I think if he can find a way to beat Indiana in this game, I think he stays. I think this would really go a long way. Kind of like the USC win last year. This would really go a long way to going ahead and doing that. So Saturday at 3:30. So Thursday you get to watch the Ravens game, and then Saturday afternoon you get to watch the Terps for 3:30 on Paramount Plus, as I do now. I still old school call it CBS. So definitely check that out as well. I'm definitely going to be watching to see how that goes as well. Rooting for the Terps against a basketball school. And I think the Poly record is right. I gotta check that. I think that's right. Be happy with what you got. I think it's 4-3. I don't know why they haven't played 10 games yet either. I don't know why that is. But high school football, the biggest rivalry for the 136th time in Baltimore high school football history, the Poly Engineers, that other school over there in West Baltimore, and my beloved Baltimore City College Black Knights, on my personal 30th anniversary of graduating. That tells you how old I am, right? Of graduating from the high school as well. I think it's going to be, I think, a great, I always say this, unless it's X and O's fashion. Obviously, I'm extremely biased to high school, but I think this is probably some of the greatest names we've ever seen. We've had future mayors of the city playing this game. We've had future NFL players playing this game. You've had, and this, in fact, is the oldest rivalry in all of sports. 136 times we've had the Black Knights and the Engineers. Now we're on a roll, and let's stay on a roll. Although the record isn't as good this year for the Black Knights, but I always say this: go down to Morgan State, and if you're definitely in the Baltimore area, I know like you guys like me, the old heads want to just go to the parties and the drinking and all that other stuff, and yell at the other school. That's fine, but go to the stadium and actually go and support these young men in this endeavor of high school football. High school sports and sports in general give them so much structure, discipline, leadership, teamwork. That's what sports, and when I think about these high school sports as well, obviously we're going to beat Poly, right? And also we want to go ahead and support the efforts of these young men as they go out to a very difficult world. So this is a good moment for them and all the schools and all the alumni of the two schools as well. So Saturday, 12 o'clock on the Morgan campus. We're going to chop it up after the game last week, the box score, who did what, etc. as well. Hopefully I can get it on stream this year. Hey, I was so mad. Like the game, I paid for the stream of the game, and it showed the field in Poly, but the game wasn't at Poly. The game was at Morgan, and all we got was some old stupid practice field hockey game. I'm like, you guys got to be kidding, right? So hopefully we can get the stream right, because HFS, National High School Sports stream, so they stream a lot of stuff here as well. Definitely check that out. Go Knights. Outstanding World Series is going on. Outstanding World Series is going on right now. MLB World Series is going on. We're going to talk about the Orioles manager in a second here, but Dodgers and the Blue Jays 2-2. I'm going to check the score right now. So the Blue Jays are up right now as I'm looking at it 2-0. I'm sure some of you are watching the game, or hopefully you can get the Rivalry Sports podcast on the split screen there. I'm definitely going to be checking it out. Somebody needs to tell the Blue Jays that they're not supposed to be here because they didn't get the message. They are really, really, really an outstanding hitting offense. Fantastic. They are getting it from everywhere. The Dodgers is obvious. Shohei Ohtani is clearly putting on his case for best player of all time. So he has been fantastic. Freddie Freeman the other night in an 18-run game, 18-inning game, where Freddie Freeman really got it for him. He's been really good the last couple postseasons as well. And it's not as noticed, but he's really been good. That's pretty much both been the thing. Just Shohei and Freeman on offense for the Dodgers as well. The Blue Jays, they're getting it from everybody. Kirk, Vladdy, Guerrero, George Springer before he got hurt in that fashion. They are getting bat and ball from everywhere. So the Blue Jays aren't here just to lay down. So they have really, really made this an entertaining series by going ahead and having a competitive battle with a really good team, the Dodgers as well. So that's the 3 now, tied with 2, and we'll see. We will see how the rest of this goes as well. I like the Blue Jays in this series. Blue Jays look to me like the better team. The Blue Jays, I can say you get in that Dodger bullpen, and that's a problem. Like the Dodgers, once you actually get into that bullpen, that's not good for them as well. Now they haven't needed it. There we go. So they haven't needed it. They haven't needed it, obviously, but they haven't needed because they've had good starting the Dodgers have good starting. Yamamoto and stuff has been really good. But 2-0 here tonight. Let's see who becomes our next champion of the MLB as well. And we got obvious news. We're going to go over the team needs, what the Orioles need. So the Orioles have a new manager as well. Hopefully, like the last few managers have been killing me. Tony Manzolino, it took me a while to stay there. And I have to learn Craig Albanese. I think that's how you say it. He was a coach for years in Cleveland. So in the Cleveland system as well. And so now he is going ahead and taking the head job. Mike Elias has hired him as now the next manager of the Baltimore Orioles. So he has been busy bringing in Brandon Hyde at the end of last year was fired as well. Tony Manzolino go ahead and took him. This was a name that was out there. This wasn't an obvious name. And also with this hire, I'm noticing the trend. For a while there, baseball was hiring a lot of vet managers, a lot of graybeards, as it were, the guys who had been around for a while. Now what I see is they're hiring some young guys. So now you see Skip Schumacher going to Texas, 45 years old. You see the Orioles hiring a guy that's 42. You're hiring a guy who's a college manager. That's unprecedented. Usually you don't see a guy who coached at the University of Tennessee. So you're seeing this now. You're seeing like a young manager here. He's going to bring in his own staff. You've seen that. A lot of people were thinking like, okay, he's going to, no. He's bringing in his own staff. It looks like a lot of these guys have already looking for, there's a lot of them looking for the job anyway, I'm sure. But you might see some stay, but it looks like he's going to be given the autonomy so far to bring in who he wants to go ahead and do that. And I'm sure fixing some of these team needs we're going to be talking about on the team is going to be a high priority for him as well. This is now Michael Elias's stamp on it here. This is your shot. He's going to be it's always different when you bring in now when a general manager or baseball or president of baseball operations brings in the manager now. So now this is your guy. This is no more excuse. Okay, you can't say, well, this is no. Both of y'all are going to go down with the ship this time around if it doesn't go well. So interesting to see Albanese in now as the Orioles manager. All right. One more segment here. So we went over some things with the Orioles free agency. We're going to go over that next week, like free agent targets. Who are the Orioles possibly looking at bringing in free agency? We went over the free agents that they have on their team, guys who might be leaving, guys who may need to resign. So now we're going to look at what the needs are. Okay, so what do the Orioles need to do to go ahead and do that in 2026? So we'll go ahead and check that out here as well. So before we tell you what they need, let's tell you what they don't need, right? So you always look at that first. Before you look out and say what you need to buy, you need to look at what your wallet in. So this is what's in the wallet right now. So you don't need catcher. You got Adley Rutschman on your team. You got an extension for Sam Basayo. You don't need to spend any money on catcher. So I doubt that seriously that the Orioles are out here looking for at least a starting catcher. I can't imagine that as well. Second base, Jackson Holliday is going to be here for years to come. He's going to be your leadoff man for sure at the beginning of next year. So I don't think there's anything there. Same at short, Gunnar Henderson. I think they like to see a little bit more from him than they saw this year. They'd like to see another, I would at least too, a 30 home run and 100 RBI. Gunnar Henderson on your team. They didn't really have that this year. So I think that's a thing as well. And I don't think third base should do anything either. You got Kobe Mayo on your team. I think he's probably going to play first. And you got Westberg. I'd be very surprised if they went out. Bregman, I think in the free agency, I think anybody's going to look at Alex Bregman, but I doubt seriously they're looking at third base as well. Okay, so that's what you don't want. Now, what do you need if you're the Orioles? So, middle relief pitching, I think, is look, you gutted the whole bullpen with all these trades at the deadline. So, I think this is an obvious one. So, what's here? Yadier Cano, Keegan Aiken, Cade Stroud, Colin Shelby, Rico Garcia, Albert Suarez, Dietrich Enns. Heavily right-handed. That's the first thing you notice as well. Cano just struggled last year. He was sent down even to AAA. I think had it not been for so many trades, that kind of I think cemented his spot because by the time they got to the end of the season, he's one of the few guys that was still around. Keegan Aiken, I think probably he is the one that would stay. He might have the most value in a move, but I think that's the one I think would stay. I think he's the guy you look at and say, all right, we know that. Cade Stroud was the biggest surprise. I think he's going to be given every opportunity as well, but certainly that's something they're going to be looking at. Colin Shelby, Rico Garcia, Albert Suarez, Dietrich Enns had some levels of success, but I don't think there's a lot of need there. I think they're definitely going to be going out on a free agent market and looking for guys. I think definitely some of the young guys in Norfolk disappointed guys. So I don't think there's a solid spot for any of these guys, I think, in 2026, other than I think Keegan Aiken. I'd be surprised if anything happened there. Second string catcher. So we talked about the Adleys here and Basilles here. What happens for second string catcher? Gary Sanchez I'd be shocked if he stayed. Gary Sanchez actually isn't that one of it. He just has trouble staying healthy. I think that's the problem. Maverick Henry, a lot of you guys like Maverick Henry because he's tough defensively. It's tough as I don't know what I was saying the injury he had. He wanted to stay in the game with a concussion as well. And I think Alex Jackson was a very pleasant surprise. I think like that was the guy who really they kind of picked him up off the street because all the catchers kept getting hurt. And Jackson kind of stayed around because he kept playing well. I thought he hit very well. He had a lot of doubles. I thought he's solid behind the plate. I don't have a problem with him bringing him, like, if he's going to be the second catcher. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I certainly, if they say, hey, man, we're going to get rid of Adley Rutschman, which I think is very possible, and they keep Alex Jackson, I'm fine with that. Maverick Henley, I think, is more of a defensive guy, but I don't like him. I mean, he hit 100. That just, I don't. I know some of y'all like Maverick, but I'm sorry. For me, you gotta hit at least 100. You can't be hitting 080 as well. But Jackson, I thought was very impressive as well. Possible that they signed a free agent, I think, as well. That seems to be the route that he likes to go. Utility infield, I think, is a thing. Luis Vasquez, Ryan Mountcastle, Jorge Mateo. I don't think they haven't made a decision on Mateo yet. I don't think they bring him back for $5.5 million. He's for sure just a part-time player, utility player at this point. I can't imagine that at 30 years old that they think he's going to develop. And so they may just decline it because they do have the option to bring him in. So we'll see. Ryan is here in the utility category. He doesn't start for the Orioles in 2026. I think Ryan is going to be a backup if he stays. I don't know if he stays, but I do think it is possible that they could leave him in as a backup as well. I do think Kobe Mayo is going to get every opportunity to start at first base. I think I don't see that as a thing where they keep. I think they're going to give Kobe Mayo a shot. Vasquez, I think, is a body. I think he's definitely going to be around in spring training. Give her every chance. I think it's definitely possible here that a vet's coming of some kind of Adam Frazier type signing or something like that, so they can get some insurance, some help in the infield as well. Now that Ramon Urias is gone, closer is definitely 911. Keegan Aiken finished the season as a closer. He's not really a closer. It's a middle relief. I think they could do that in the short term as well. Felix Batista, you're not going to have at all next season or most of the season, at the very least. So you're definitely, I think, signing a closer in free agency. I don't think there's any choice here. You tried to get Hoffman last year. They didn't like the medicals, whatever, and Hoffman's in the World Series for us. Blue Jays. Crazy. But you didn't like Hoffman in the center. They need a closer. They need a closer right now. If you want to have success next year, they got to go in this free agent market and look at these closers. We'll definitely talk about that next week. So I think that's 3. 2, center field, what happens? I'm really not sure. For some reason, people seem to not like Colton in center. I don't know why. I think he's pretty good in center. He's not as good as Cedric Mullins was. I think that's obvious. He's just not good. He's not as good as Cedric Mullins. But I think he's pretty good. I got no problem with him playing center. I don't think they're going to leave him center. I'd be surprised. I think you're definitely going to look at Dylan Beavers out there, who also I think is they view as more of a corner outfielder as well. The guy at the bottom, I think, is the guy they want to give it to. Enrique Bradfield is in AAA this season. I'm pretty sure he's going to start at AAA, but he's been very good in Arizona this year, fall league. I think they want to see a bit more of him in AAA before they just put him in center. But I do think this is the guy they have in mind long term, as far as at least defensively in center field as well. I think Hauser would be fine, but I don't know if he's a center field. But it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I don't think they view him in that same light. But number 1 is starting pitching as well. You never have enough starting pitching, in my opinion. I don't think you definitely need a big time starter though, for sure. But I don't know if you're as needy. I think by the end of the year, as well. Trevor Rogers was really good. Bradish is back, although he was good when he was in there, but he hasn't really pitched much. Zach Eflin is probably gone in free agency. Dean Kramer kind of is what he is like a 3rd, 4th starter. Now the question is, because Grayson Rodriguez has never pitched a full season as a major leaguer. We will see about Grayson. I'm interested to see what Orioles view him. I don't think they have him past the 5th starter, if that. They could be done with him, as a matter of fact. I don't know that, but I definitely don't think they're saying, okay, we got Rogers, we got Bradish, we got Kramer, and we got Grayson, so we don't need. I don't see that at all. Cade Povich, I think, fringe. I don't think he's a very good starter. I think he's a fringe starter. I think he's like a tweener as well. Sagano, I don't think he returns either. I think it's possible as well. So you may need 2 starters as well in the offseason again, because clearly, and this is definitely true, with all due respect to Braxton Bragg and Michael Forrest and those guys, I don't think there's anybody that's right now ready at major league level to put minor league. I don't think you have that. I think most of your really good prospects need another season in the minors. There you go. Team needs. So I actually got through that better than I thought today. I thought I would need more time and everything to get this squared away, but we got through it. So go watch the World Series. We're going to check that out. Caleb Williams and the Bears this weekend. Last weekend, rather, against the Ravens. This Thursday night, we're going to be on after the game, driving to the Top Productions and the Ravens Sports. We're going to be live on there after the Ravens and the Dolphins. Definitely check that out. Might go, I don't know yet, but after the Terps game. Certainly if we win, like you'll see it. But we'll see how the Terps game goes. We might do a react to that. Real quick, I was remiss. 82-81 Maryland over UMBC Retrievers. Don't fret too much about that. Add to the stage. So I'm gonna get that Dodger graphic up because I forgot it right there. But 82-81 Terps over UMBC as well. Some of the Terps didn't play. A lot of the freshmen played. Don't be too hyperbolic with that. Definitely on Monday they start for real in Baltimore against the Copper State Eagles, 82-81 as well. Darius Adams looked good. That's the thing you could take away from the UMBC game. Exhibition, it doesn't count. They started for real here as well. Definitely check out that video, Maryland basketball preview. Thank you, guys. So the audience grew as we watched it, and we thank you very much for joining us here. Definitely, we'll see you tomorrow after the Ravens and the Dolphins game. You guys have a great day.